Hello and welcome to All Things Manchester, the show that brings you information of importance that you want to know about the greater Manchester, Connecticut community. My name is Tom Topping. I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. And this afternoon, I'm interviewing Manchester Fire Department Battalion Chief Matt Leroux about the Manchester fireworks, which will be on Saturday, July 5th. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. What I'd like to do first today is talk a little bit about your experiences as a fireman in Manchester, and not just when you started, but maybe some of the more recent incidents where that you had the fire department had to go out and do their thing.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So my name is Matt Leroux. I'm a battalion chief with the Manchester Fire Department. I'm currently the chief in charge of training. I've been with the department 18 years. I actually started as a volunteer in the 8th District at the age of 17. I started working for the 8th District in 2003 as a full-time firefighter EMT and worked there for 4 years. And then I attended paramedic school at Capital Community College, where I obtained my paramedic license and then was able to have the opportunity to be hired by the town in 2007. So most of my career I spent at Station 5 on Tolland Turnpike before I was promoted in 2015 to lieutenant, and then I worked at various firehouses across Manchester during that time. And then I was promoted in 2022 to battalion chief, and I was in charge of the Group 2, which is the group of firefighters that work on that shift, until I moved into the training office last year.
Now, how many firefighters are you responsible for under you?
So as a battalion chief, I'm responsible for 24 firefighters at any given time. As the training officer, I oversee the department's training program. So I'm ultimately in charge of the entire department's training at a monthly and quarterly basis, and then any other project that is handled by the administration of the fire department.
Are you looking for firefighters? What does it take to be a firefighter in Manchester?
Currently, we are at full staffing, but to be a firefighter in Manchester, you have to have a Connecticut paramedic license. And then once you have your paramedic license, you take the candidate physical ability test, which is the physical examination. And once you complete that, you go through a written and oral assessment panel, and then you have an interview with the fire chief and his staff. Once you're selected as a firefighter, you do paramedic precepting, and then you go to the Connecticut Fire Academy for 15 weeks of firefighter training.
It wasn't all that long ago that the town of Manchester had two distinct fire departments. One, you've mentioned them both actually.
Correct.
You started in the 8th District.
Yes, I did.
Which a lot of young men and women got their start there.
Absolutely.
Is there a volunteer path now in Manchester?
So currently there is not a volunteer path. It is something that the fire department is looking at bringing back, but it's logistically, it's one of those things that there's a lot of stuff that has to kind of be spelled out before we could get back to a volunteer contingent here in Manchester.
Is there any way, sort of a support group for the fire department? If I remember correctly, there may have been a fire police.
So absolutely, there's two organizations here in town. There's the Manchester Fire Support Group, which is a volunteer organization that really supports the legacy of the 8th District and their charitable contributions to the community. And then there's the Citizens Emergency Response Team, which is the CERT team, and they're actually responsible for a wide variety of services here in town, from fire police operations, shelter management. They run the ham radio division, and then they actually also have a drone program that both the fire department and the police department utilize for both training, civic events, and then emergency response.
What are some of the newer technologies that are in firefighting techniques
that
have changed in your 20 years?
So that's actually a great question. So science has actually come to the forefront of the fire service in the last 20 years. So Underwriters Laboratory is now involved with the fire service, trying to understand why fires burn hotter and faster than they have in the past. So through that research, they have found the techniques that fire departments were using across the country didn't match the actual science. And it was something that has changed the way we fight fires. Applying water from the outside actually cools a space faster than if we were to bring the hose line inside of the building. We're still going to go inside. It's just a matter of applying water from a position of advantage first. Actually helps the possibility if there were victims inside to survive.
And again, I'd like to see what's the day-to-day life of a fireman like at a firehouse, typical firehouse?
So here in Manchester, we're an all hazards fire department, so we provide a variety of services. About 80% of our calls for service are emergency medical services, which are EMS calls. So somebody calls 911 and has some type of medical emergency, a medical event, car accident, fall off of a roof. The fire department responds with both EMTs and paramedics. We're very fortunate here in Manchester that we have 7 paramedics on duty 24 hours a day that provide the highest level of care possible pre-hospital, in the pre-hospital environment. So pretty much anything that could take place in an emergency room in the first 10 to 15 minutes, the firefighters are able to do in your living room, in the grocery store, or anywhere across town.
What about public outreach? How do you get to the community? I mean, other than just by, being in a fire truck and...
Correct, 100%. I remember being a small child here in town and seeing the firefighters in the park, at the grocery store, at public events. Community outreach is the best way that we can interact with the public. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to provide the best possible service to the citizens of Manchester. So our outreach is at all community events, the road race, Cruising on Main, the fireworks, even just going to the National Nights Out and other events in town, the farmers market on Spruce Street, anywhere that we can interact with the public. Even if we see a child walking across the street with their parents, we'll give them a wave, pull over, let them see the fire engine.
Will you come out? Let's say I own a home in Manchester, and I have a concern. Will you come out and do an inspection of any type of a regular residential house?
So the fire marshal's office will come out upon request and walk through the house from a fire safety perspective. So it would be contacting the fire marshal's office or going through the town's manchesterct.org and getting that type of information. But we are more than willing to go out and give fire safety tips, install smoke or carbon monoxide detectors, which are critically important to every citizen in Manchester, regardless of where you live.
When I was a kid, we had one of those big boilers in the basement with the door that opened and the oil fired. And my father came down one day and caught me throwing paper into it. And he was mad. And he called the fire department and told them what I had done. And they made arrangements for me to come in and get a tour of the firehouse and learn personally up close.
Yep.
Do they still do stuff like that?
So they do. The community outreach does partner with, children that may have a tendency to play with fire. It's called Juvenile Fire Center. It's a great program that's sponsored at the both local and state level. But it's one of those community connections that we would make with the citizens that need our help the most.
How about the schools? Do you have any outreach to the schools?
So we do fire prevention every year in October. Our fire prevention team gets out to every school in town and offers a fire safety message, a tour of the apparatus, some type of hands-on demonstration, but ultimately gets the message out that, in their time of need, the fire department and our members will be there to help them.
Do they still give out the little...
They still give out the plastic hats from the Hartford Insurance Organization.
Do you have any special words of advice to children, young kids, elementary school age, on how to protect themselves and each other? I mean, what to do if they see a fire or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously if they see a fire or they see a lighter or a book of matches, to not touch that and to go find an adult. That is the most important thing, and obviously the supervision of their adult family members is vital in securing that as well.
In your relatively long career, what's the most rewarding thing that you've had happen?
To be honest with you, every day we impact a citizen here in the community. So it's not one call, it's every day. Just it could be something as simple as helping somebody up off the floor after their family member has fallen. We change somebody's life every day. It doesn't have to be something you see in the news or a fire or a car accident. It's literally the small things that makes the Manchester Fire Department great.
Is there a particular piece of equipment that fascinates you that you can't believe it does what it does?
There's actually a lot of equipment that we carry that we're fortunate enough to have the support of the taxpayers and the board of directors and the town manager and the fire chief that we actually have on our vehicles. I would say the cardiac monitor, the LifePak 15 that we're fortunate enough to have on every piece of fire apparatus here in town. From the EMS side, the emergency medical services side, is so technologically advanced, it can do a multitude of things. And then from the firefighting side, the thermal imaging camera is a game changer for the fire service over the last 20 years.
What's maybe the most rewarding, I wouldn't say part of the job, I already asked you that question. What gets you up in the morning and gets you to go to work?
It's kind of cliche, the fire service, the firefighters always say it's the greatest job in the world. So growing up here in Manchester, being able to impact citizens every day, for me is knowing that when I was a child and having called 911 and then seeing the firefighters show up at our door on Hemlock Street at 6:30 in the morning, like, you're carrying on the legacy of an organization from both sides, the 8th District and the town fire department, now the Manchester Fire Department, continuing that legacy of service to the citizens and visitors of Manchester is the reason that I think all Manchester public servants, both police, fire, and EMS, get up in the morning.
Can you tell us a little bit about the 4th of July fireworks, so where they're going to be, when it's going to happen and all that?
Absolutely. So the Dutch Fogarty Independence Day celebration is going to be held at Manchester Community College this year. It's a great event, started a long time ago by town employees looking to get fireworks for their children. And it's been an event that has been growing ever since. But at the core of it is a community event that's meant for the community and the families that live in this great community.
What's your role in the
So I'm a fireworks committee member. I'm the fire department liaison for the fireworks committee. It's one of those events that is passed on generation to generation. It started as a small core event and has slowly grown to what it is today.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other things that go on? What time it starts, what other events, and then perhaps the costs?
Absolutely. So the fireworks this year start at 4:30 p.m. at MCC. There'll be free face painting for kids. There'll be a kid zone. There's a variety of food truck vendors that are set up to be able to purchase food from. And then as the day progresses, there's 2 live music acts, the Silver Fox String Band and Night Shift, which are 2 great local bands. And then at 9:30, the fireworks start.
And is there any cost to get in?
So there's no cost for admission. There is a voluntary donation that's collected by the Manchester CERT team at the entrances, but the event is free to the public.
And how about parking? Is parking
So there's
free?
ample parking. The entrances at all the college entrances, CERT members will then guide you into parking spaces based on where you want to watch the fireworks display from.
Now, you were talking a little bit about the background. I'm a little bit older than you, so I remember when they were at Mount Nebo before the I-384 went in, and we had the annual event, just like you do now. But once the highway went in, they decided to move the location. Do you know anything about how that came about, what the people involved in?
So my understanding was it was Dutch Fogarty, who was a retired fire captain from the fire department. He was having coffee with some of the other town employees, and they decided that one of the members' children hadn't seen fireworks. So they had a conversation with then town manager Robert Weiss, who then decided to reinvigorate the fireworks committee and develop a fireworks program at Manchester Community College.
Can you tell us a little bit about the behind-the-scenes stuff, maybe about how the fireworks work? You know, because when I was younger, they literally took a torch and lit a fuse.
Sure, so it's obviously a little more technologically advanced at this point. It's actually a very intricate process. They bring in pyrotechnic experts that have a state pyrotechnics license. It's overseen by the Manchester Fire Marshal's Office and the State Fire Marshal's Office, because obviously MCC is state property. But the state fire marshals also oversee all pyrotechnic events in the state. So they set the charges in the morning. It's all inspected, and then is actually computer controlled in coordination with the music that is played at the event.
So there is music.
There is music.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other groups that are involved?
So there's 3 corporate sponsors that are our main sponsors for the event: the SBM Charitable Foundation, Highland Park Market, and the Ambulance Service of Manchester. And then obviously the town of Manchester is the sponsoring agency, and we're very fortunate to have so many great community partners out throughout the town of Manchester.
What kind of attendance do you get? Is it families? Is it older people? Is it a combination?
So, like I said at the beginning, ultimately this whole program is about family in the community. So you have a wide variety of residents from Manchester and our surrounding communities that come. We're expecting anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000 people this year to come to MCC and enjoy that community atmosphere that Manchester is known for.
Now, since we run in so many communities outside of Manchester, do you have to be a Manchester resident to go?
You do not. It is open to the public. We would just ask that, if you would like, if you're able to afford a donation, please donate. That money goes back into community events and planning the event for the next year.
Is there readily available handicap access of parking?
There is handicap parking, there's handicap access, there are porta potties at all entrances and around the grounds that are all handicap accessible.
And we talked a little bit about the music and the face painting. How about food?
So there are food. There is at least 10 food truck vendors that will be there that offer a wide variety of cuisine from all different ethnic backgrounds. So all the way from hamburgers and hot dogs to pierogies, fried dough, and everything in between.
Okay. Are you still looking for sponsors or other vendors?
So we are looking for sponsors. You can contact Mr. Topping on his Facebook or the Fireworks Committee through any of the town entity communication networks.
What do you think is the best part of the fireworks?
So I think growing up in town, the best part of the fireworks is seeing, growing up as a child in Manchester, seeing people that you didn't see up until the fireworks, because school got out, and then you kind of lose track of your friends until school starts again. As an adult now, one of the best days in Manchester is working either the road race, the cruising on Main, or the fireworks, because you get to see people that you haven't seen in years, and you kind of lose track of time. You get there at 3 o'clock and you're talking to people, and next thing you know, the fireworks are going off. So it's a great event here in town.
Just to back up for a minute, can I bring my own cooler? Can I bring my own food?
I believe you can bring your own cooler and food, but obviously we would like you to take part on the vendors that are there and support them as they're supporting us.
And what time again does it start?
Starts at 4:30 to 9:15, and then the fireworks start promptly at 9:30.
And how long have you been involved with the event?
So this is my second year being involved with the Fireworks Committee as the representative from the fire department, and it's been a great opportunity to serve Manchester kind of behind the scenes on the committee itself.
Now, just to sidetrack a little bit, can you tell us a little bit about your experience as a firefighter, and are you from Manchester?
Yep.
And all that?
Yep, born and raised in Manchester, grew up on Hemlock Street. My parents still live there. Went to Waddell School, Illing, and then Cheney Tech. I started as a firefighter in the 8th District back in 2001 and volunteered there for about 6 years until 2007 when I was hired by the town fire department, and I've been with the town ever since, so about 18 years this December.
Wow, so the 8th District, that's my brother. You must know my
Yes,
brother.
I know your brother John very well.
John chose the police
Yes,
department, but
yeah.
he always
Not
did
everybody's
love them.
perfect, so, you know.
Well, he's always loved the fire department.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he did choose the path of the police officer.
Yep.
Let's see, what else would you like to tell us about the fireworks? Anything that I'm missing? Because this is my first year really involved with it.
So it is truly a great event that is forged in community and friendship. So it doesn't matter where you live in Manchester or if you don't even live in Manchester. If you're available on the night of the fireworks, come down, support all the local vendors, and enjoy a great time with your fellow citizens, you know, celebrating our nation's independence.
One of the things you and I were talking about earlier, off camera, was they don't have ground level displays anymore. They do everything aerially.
Correct.
Is there a reason for that, or
I
do you
think
know
it's just
anything?
it's probably a safety thing. It has to be more controlled than it was, you know, many years ago. So this way, it's in a secure area where it can be monitored by professionals that are setting them off in coordination with the management of the fireworks.
And how would you describe the atmosphere once the sun sets and the music starts?
So it's truly an electric atmosphere. So when you're there, as soon as it starts to get dusk, you can kind of feel everybody's kind of getting excited for the fireworks. And then once those lights go off, there's just that like cheer and excitement across the field that you know, even as an adult, you can feel that like excitement as the fireworks are going to start. And then once they play, you know, we have a great national anthem singer who does a great job singing the national anthem, and then the fireworks start.
Is that Riley?
Riley Pennington.
Oh, that's right.
So she is an excellent singer from Manchester, and we're always excited to have her sing the national anthem for us.
I had something else I wanted to ask, and then it slipped my mind when you brought up Riley. There used to be a cookout, but they've stopped doing that. Is that true?
So they did. It was for many years. There was a chicken barbecue that was put on by a group of volunteers. It just became too cumbersome to obtain a food license for a one-day event. So the decision was made many years ago to shift to the food truck model, not only for the residents, but also as a way to give back to local food trucks that support us as well.
If you had one thing to say to people to get them to come to the event, what would it be?
It would be, it's a great experience to live in Manchester and come to an event that is so well supported by not only your fellow citizens, but local business owners and the town as a whole. It's one night where everybody comes together, much like on the road race day, and you're proud to be a Manchester resident. Like, I'm proud to be a Manchester resident every day, but this just like exemplifies what Manchester is.
And the date is Saturday, June 5th, starting at 4:30.
July 5th.
I mean, July 5th.
Yep, July 5th at 4:30, and then the rain date is July 6th.
And again at 4:30?
Correct.
Is there-
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Last year we had a rain out and we had to go to the backup date, but we're fingers crossed that July 5th will be the date of the fireworks.
And if it rains both days, there's no third date?
Correct. There is no
Okay.
third date scheduled.
Have you got anything else that you'd like to let us know before we?
Dutch Fogarty's son Jim is the master of ceremonies, so there is that connection to one of the original starters of this great fireworks celebration. So his son will be there leading the way and introducing the bands and the various sponsors that we have for the fireworks.
Are there any other people that you think you should say thank you to for their work on this event?
So obviously this event wouldn't take place without the people that came before us. So everybody that's participated, the community partners that we have that are really the unsung heroes, the board of directors, the town manager, and everybody else that supports the fireworks on an annual basis. It wouldn't be possible. It is truly a team effort here in Manchester.
Well, I'd like to thank you for your time this afternoon. I think we've got quite an event that will be coming up again on the 5th of July. I thank you for your time, and I will see you at the fireworks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure, sir. My name is Tom Topping. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in this afternoon to watch All Things Manchester. I'd like to thank my friends Rich, Joe, Dave, and Rich Harrington as well for doing the production side of what we've got going here. I ask that if you're interested in getting your group on our show, that you look at us at the Manchester CT message board on Facebook, where you can contact me directly. I'll be happy to bring you on for half an hour and talk about the things that you're doing in our community. We are on a regular schedule now, and we look forward to many interesting shows with many pieces of information that the community can use. Thank you for tuning in.